All right, guys, I have been looking forward to doing this episode for quite some time. The thing is, I recently went to a in-person mastermind event. And every time I do this, I've been to about 6 in the past 365 days. I come back an upgraded person. My DNA is upgraded. My personality is upgraded. My mindset is upgraded. Everything about me is upgraded. And I titled this How Masterminds Make You Millions on purpose. Masterminds that I've invested in the last 2 years have literally made me millions, where had I not invested in them, I would not be where I am today. So I attended this event and I thought, gosh, I need to do an episode dedicated to why masterminds are important and how they can benefit you. So I hope you really enjoy this episode and just take note and think, where could I find a community to maybe uplift and raise the bar with my DNA, my mindset, who I am today? Because I will say before you listen to the episode, there are different types of masterminds. I have invested in different masterminds for different reasons. I'm in a very business focused mastermind that's very curriculum heavy with lots of files and very didactic training. And it's really, really intense. And it's the same price point as a mastermind I was in last year that met just once a month, but we had 3 in-person events, and it was very focused on women in business who were scaling to $1 million. And it was very focused on mindset. And it was not business tactical. So both of them grew me leaps and bounds in different areas of my development. So you may have to decide for yourself, where do I need to focus right now? And where do I need to focus first when it comes to masterminding? Where do I need the most support? Because you have to know what you need before you go invest. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Hey friend, Melissa Hinault here with the Burnout to All Out podcast. I'm a former multiple 6-figure executive corporate burnout, feeling stuck in the life I built for myself. But using my corporate skills, I took to the internet and have built multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses, showing others how they can build a life they love. Now, on this podcast, I share stories of being an entrepreneur, a mom to my 3 amazing kids, and wife to my wonderful and supportive husband who supports all my wild and crazy dreams. My journey is taking grit and persistence and belief. And believe me, I'm still a work in progress that you may witness in real time, whether it's in our free Burnout to All Out Facebook community, or inside my mastermind, or even in my coaching programs, or maybe just right here on the podcast. I'm laughing and I'm crying with you. I've become a serial entrepreneur with a passion to inspire more burnouts to take the leap of faith and go all out and live out their dreams. Consider me your mentor in your head and on the go. So let's get started. Okay, guys, today we're talking about how masterminds literally make you millions. I know you've heard the buzzword. You're like, what is it? Why should I do it? Should I invest, right? Like, why get together with others, right? Why do it in a coordinated effort with other people? First and foremost, I will say up front that getting together with others who are not only big dreamers, because, hey, listen, there's a ton of dreamers out there, but you want to pay to pull your chair up at a table with the doers, dreamers who are doing and taking radical action. And that includes the lead mentor who's facilitating the actual mastermind. You definitely want to fact check and invest in a mastermind who's led by someone who's living the life, building the businesses, doing the things that they're coaching, right? Because it is a big buzzword right now. So here's the deal. I'm going to just walk you through from my perspective in this kind of episode here, why There's so much benefit to masterminds. And my goal is by the end of this, you are on the internet connecting and collaborating and feverishly looking for a mastermind that's going to suit you to grow, right? Okay. So let's get started. Number one, oh my gosh, can we just say human connection and the virtual business model? How many of you are listening to this are in an online business? Probably 99.9% of you, right? Let's be honest. Working remotely in an online business from home can be lonely. Even if you're connected through coaching online all the time with other humans, you're the one in charge and you're the one leading, right? And if you're in a startup online, you're the boss. The buck stops at you. You're making all the decisions, right? And so it can be very lonely at the top in the online business space for two reasons. Number one, it can be lonely at the top because you have nowhere to look up for mentorship if you are at the top and haven't invested to be at the table with others who can mentor you, right? That's number one. The second reason it's lonely is because it's literally lonely if you're working from home and you're not working alongside people who are in the thick of what you're doing, right? Regardless of like the mentoring coaching piece, being in a cohesive group of people who are living the life you're living and can relate to the world you live in helps you feel what I say is not so crazy, right? I've been in the online space, for 7 years now, and my coaching business for 2. And it wasn't until 2 weeks ago, I met a woman here in the area who is actually an online business coach as well. It's the first time I've ever met anyone in the state of North Carolina who does somewhat similar to what I do. So we met for coffee because it's like, oh my God, it's so nice to like meet a human. What is my point in all of this? My point in all of this is to have a home base or a community or mastermind where you're in a group of people who are in it with you, right? That you can share ideas with and get ideas from. And we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes, but that can commiserate and celebrate the highs and lows, right, of online entrepreneurship. And we'll get into that in a minute. But here's the thing. Not only just to have the human connection and to feel at home and not feel like the unicorn in the family or in the community or in the state, right? But it's also to be inspired by what's possible instead of shying away from a new skill and sticking to what's natural. So many of you, maybe in the online space, you're becoming your own bottleneck. Maybe you've had some early success, but now you're starting to flatline. And many times it's because you've been relying on skills that you're naturally good at, and you can leverage that only until a certain point. And if you're not willing to invest and learn from others and join a group where you're inspired to really get the confidence to build new skill sets, you will bottleneck yourself, right? So it's happened with me. I never would have launched this podcast at all had I not seen my dear friend Rebecca launch hers. And she was like, we were in a mastermind together. She's like, it's really not that hard. Here, let me share with you my Google Sheet, my Google Drive on how to launch a podcast. It's 1, 2, 3, easy peasy. And it was the peer-to-peer self-confidence in me of what I was capable of, even though I was doubtful, that pushed me out of my comfort zone to learn a new skill set. And she inspired me. And by the way, she had the tools and the resources that she handed over to me in the mastermind. She didn't charge me. This is part of what masterminds are about, is sharing what works for each other, right? The other one may be to launch my mastermind, right? My academy was going great. I'm like, this is good, right? But I had some peers in my mastermind who were like, hey, we're building an escalation program from our flagship programs into masterminds. You should take a look at it. Survey your academy folks and ask what they would want in an escalation program. Had I not seen some of my peers go before me, A, I wouldn't have had the path to jump. B, I wouldn't have had the confidence to do it. And C, I wouldn't have had the support along the way. Okay. I hope this is making sense, guys. In entrepreneurship, you don't go to college to become an entrepreneur, right? You learn by experience. This is what I've learned recently. Gosh, I've spent nearly $100,000 in programs and coaching over the past 2 years, which again, it's 10x. I've gotten 10 times the money back. But where I'm going with this is you have to see these masterminds as a place to learn and grow and do as you go along. It's like a university for entrepreneurs. How do entrepreneurs learn? By doing. Well, how do they take action in the first place? By seeing the examples, trial and error. How do you learn to ride a bike? You get on the damn bike and you pedal. You don't study and take a test to ride a bike. You see your neighbor who's a year or 2 weeks or a year younger than you even hop on a bike and do it. And you're like, damn, I bet I can ride a bike too. Guys, that is what masterminds and entrepreneurship are all about. Okay. So the other thing I will share with you, again, is even more formal training. So one of the masterminds I am in, I was asked to speak on stage a couple of months ago and train an entire community on the power of LinkedIn. And it was streamed globally on replay. Okay. While I attended that mastermind event, I learned from my peers on new tips and tricks to drive engagement with podcasts. I learned specifics on bookkeeping and accounting. I got incredible training on copy and how to write copy. These all came from my peers in the same mastermind. See, it's a give and take. I gave coaching on LinkedIn. They gave me coaching in areas I needed to up level, and it can generate business for you. I walked away from that event in October and did $100,000 in sales in November, the majority of which came from people in that program, that mastermind that I had presented to, right? So it's a great way to network and generate business. It's gotten me on stages and in front of audiences from peers in my mastermind saying, wow, what you have to offer could really bring value to my community. Can you come speak? Guys, what skyrocketed my business to begin with was being in a mastermind. And every single girl in the mastermind said, can you come speak to my group? I run a mastermind. Can you come speak to them about the power of LinkedIn? Are you struggling to generate leads on Facebook and Instagram? Do you want to attract and close more high quality leads without having to rely on ads and the hustle of Instagram and Facebook? Most service-based online business owners are stuck trying to build their audiences and launches using overly saturated Facebook groups, ads, and DMing strategies, and they are struggling. But there's a better place and way to connect with ideal clients. It's on LinkedIn. You guys, you know me, Melissa Hinault. I've tapped into the power of LinkedIn to generate leads and grow 6 and 7-figure businesses online. We just hit 6 figures just last month, and 80% of our 6-figure sales were from organic leads, not from ads. I teach all types of business owners how to attract and close their ideal clients with ease. I'm hosting a free masterclass where I'm teaching how to generate thousands of high quality leads on LinkedIn without paying a fortune with Facebook ads and without exhausting yourself trying to stand out in a saturated market. Imagine generating warm leads instead of cold ones with ads, resulting in a higher conversion rate. Imagine marketing to an audience with the money mindset and the income to invest in what you have to offer. Register for free today at our website, www.burnouttoallout.co. That's www.burnouttoallout.co, or jump into my free Facebook community, Burnout to All Out, and just make a post in there and say, hey, I need a concierge. Get me signed up for this next workshop. Can't wait to see you on the back end. Next up, I'd love for you to just listen to some of our clients currently in the academy and listen to how they're winning with our strategies.
As soon as I started putting content out there, something that happened too, I started meeting other people that were prospecting me. And it didn't bother me because I was like, these people are straightforward. Like, whoa, it just changed the game for me. And I know that 2021 is the year for me to grow my business there. And even it changed the game on the other platforms too. I'm still on the other platform, but to be honest, I don't screw around. I go in there, I ask people to take a look, I create a relationship with much more confidence because I'm not like beating around the bushes.
I hope you guys are getting this, right? Here's the thing. In general, just power partnerships, right? What can you establish potentially in a power partnership? I found someone in my mastermind who's now my project manager, and she's a lead coach in my mastermind, right? These are power partnerships that you can find. And she really serves our clients kind of a la carte on the back end from an IT perspective. It's an incredible power partnership. Now, here's the thing. The other thing with masterminds, and this is like, it's not all roses, right? It is, entrepreneurship is hard. It's not always great. It's not always bad. But to be supported through the ups and downs can be critical, right? When you've had a huge month and you can celebrate a 6 or 7 figures with a community that's not jealous or judging or thinking you're batshit crazy, guys, it's huge. It's huge. For people to be able to relate to celebrating the successes, it goes 2 ways, right? When you've got a shitty month, they're there to lift you up. Maybe you have a bad month, but one of your peers has a massively incredible, successful month. And it inspires you to go back to the drawing board or ask questions and learn. What is my peer doing that's worked for them? So I hope this is really helpful for you guys. The last thing I really want to hit on with this episode is really just asking you, what does a rich life look like to you? I do believe it's really critical when you choose a mastermind. It's really all starts with who leads it and what their mindset is. And masterminds that are designed to drive business models and designed to drive business growth, it's really important that the mindset of the mastermind is all the same, right? And one of the things I always look for in masterminds that I choose is there's different definitions of wealth, right? So there's one definition of wealth, which is really the accumulation of things, which I would challenge that the average American classifies wealth as the accumulation of things. But the communities that I join, they're building generational wealth. What is generational wealth? It's an unstoppable life story that benefits the next generation, right? And what does that look like? I surround myself with people who understand and want wealth that outlives a lifetime, that can be handed down for generations, but also wants a loving marriage and a fulfilled home life, who's looking for the ability to give back in big ways, is looking to travel and create experiences and not just generate revenue. Work that is meaningful and making a difference, right? Putting your soul out there to change people's lives and their businesses in a positive way. Why did I land on this note? Well, you are the sum of the 6 people you spend the most time with. And so it's very important to really hone in on what the mastermind true north is and what the ecosystem within the mastermind is, that mindset. Is it going to drive your vibration up, or is it going to lead you astray with the wrong mindset, right? So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. If you love the idea of being in a mastermind, I'd love to take you from ear to real life. You guys go check out my website, www.burnouttoallout.co, and apply for our High Vibe Mastermind today. You know, our goal in our High Vibe Mastermind is to elevate your inner circle and in the process, elevate your income. So instead of just hearing some hypothetical solutions or, hearing some hypotheticals around masterminding, join us to get real and customized solutions for your online business. I hope you guys have loved this episode. We'll see you back again next week.
Thanks for listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. For free resources, materials, or information on my coaching services, go ahead over to livethefreelife.co. That's livethefreelife.co. or check out our Facebook community at Burnout to All Out, and make sure you follow Burnout to All Out on Spotify and subscribe to iTunes. And it would truly mean the world to me if you paused for just a second, gave me that 5-star review of the show, and be sure to share this episode with any burnouts you think would be inspired to go all out after hearing this episode.